Hi guys, welcome to our Binds Twitter space, ninth community call, right? So today we'll be having Mr. Ayodeji from Web3 Bridge, which is a top community in Africa, and he's going to like tell us about himself, about Web3 Bridge, and also like the initiative they have held that regards Starknet generally. So my name is Paul Emmanuel, and I'm the community manager at Starknet Africa, and we have Mr. Ayodeji here. So, Mr. Ayodeji, could you please like introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. My name is Ayodeji Awosika. Hope I'm audible enough.
Yeah.
All right, great. My name is Ayodeji Awosika. I'm the founder of Web3 Bridge. Before Web3 Bridge, I've been doing community moderation, community management, yeah, a little bit of marketing and like that, like marketing, cheese and all. Then I also like before Web3 at all, I used to be a researcher. I think I'm still here. I still do research. I have background in education, so I do research on the side like once in a while. I actively still do it actually. So and that's why I'm with Bridges. Okay, so I am myself with Bridge. Bridge was founded 5 years ago. It's going to be 5 years by next month, and we've run 11. I've run 10 successful cohorts, and 11th one being in motion. We've run so basically Web3 Bridge is a program where we train Web3 developers from Nigeria, and we've trained across Africa now. We started 5 years ago, as I've said before. We've run 11 successful cohorts, and we are opening registration for the 12th by October. Also, we've done a number of master classes, one of which our Cairo masterclass was part of, and so this is just an introduction of myself and Web3 Bridge. Thank you.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I was going to ask you a bit about yourself, but I mean, I'm quite curious, like, what inspired you to build or start building Web3 Bridge, basically?
So Web3 started before Web3 Bridge. I was working community management and all. There was something that actually happened one night. We launched this project. I was working with a particular protocol, not protocol per se, but a Web3 project at the time. Before then, I've always believed that education is one of the things that we need to like prioritize in Web3. I've run a number of meetups since 2018, 2017, 2018 majorly was the year where I ran a number of meetups, a number of meetings with the OAU guys. Like one of our meetings was what give birth to the blockchain OAU community now. Like we had a number of these meetings then to like talk about okay, how do we get started? How do we like do Web3 and all of our Web3 education and all. But then while I was working on this particular company, I saw that we have a lot of knowledge gap where a number of developers were not good yet. So Web3 developers were like very scanty at the time. So I started I started thinking about it, but then that night we launched this project around 10 p.m. and this project crashed, unfortunately, 30 minutes after. Now the developers were in Europe, they were sleeping. What was it Europe? I think developers were either in I think Australia or something. So I know the developers were sleeping at the time, and everybody was not in the community anymore. And I was community manager, and people expected the post to have their so like it was an app that used gasless transaction and all, and they had to like do a lot of how do we call it now? So there was a lot of noise in that community that night, like crazy noise. I was there 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and I was like muting Telegram, slowing it down. I think Telegram was like slow down button at the time. So you mute chat, respond to this, go back and forth till morning. Then I figured that now if you are not focused about develop education, you're wasting our time. So that was the point where it cut it for me. And up until so I've been thinking about how do we do this, how do we proceed with this until uh, Giselle Lubin actually announced uh, 1 million debt for Ethereum at the time. You know, like announced 1 million debt for Ethereum at the time, and I feel like that was like the opening that we needed. Made the announcement, and now we are here.
Mm, pretty cool. I think I came across Web3 Bridge in 2022, yeah, which was pretty much when I started like building up the whole Starknet Nigeria stroke Africa initiative, right? So at the time we were looking at okay, what developer community we can actually collaborate with to host a meetup, which was how I got to like meet Privilege. And looking at like you guys track record, I actually felt like okay, this was actually a good deal. Okay,
Thank
so yeah, so pretty much. So my second question would be like today we're talking about community building. So how would you define the concepts of Web3 community building 101? Like if you have been asked this, how would you define it?
So I think it varies from person to person, and I would say that apart from just the Web3 part of it, there is a Web2 part of it. I see
Mm-hmm.
community management as okay. Let's have community management. I see community management as more of a customer support kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
whereby I would like explain it like customer support kind of thing where so unlike when people call center to speak to one agent, you have a platform where everybody can come in and talk the same time with the agent. Now, as a community manager, your first role is to show empathy to these guys, like create an environment where everyone can like communicate. So like, hey, welcome to our community. Like it's I think community management is actually like more fun now. Back in the days, like 2018, 2019 was even tough for Nigerians to be a community manager because once you are the community manager of a project and people come and like, hey, Nigeria, hello, I'm like, is Nigeria here? No, 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 no. This is a scam. So I feel that community management or community building is just the point of bringing people together with to rally around your project, around what you believe in, like around your protocol and or whichever project, protocol and all, giving them a sense of belonging in that community. Because like if people belong to that community, then they can contribute. Like a lot of people need to like contributing to the community. So a group like a community of people that comes together with aligned goal. What is their goal align? What are we talking about? Or allowing them to have input. Now, like a lot of what we are doing with DAOs today are something we used to do in community back in the days where so people can decide, oh Dev, what are we adding to this function? Oh, I've added this function to it. We need to so like when people have sense of belonging, they know that oh they are part of that community. Then what prompts it is earning. People wants to earn. Like people actually wants to earn. So people need to know, okay, they're coming together with an aligned goal. But at the end of the day, they contribute to your project, then also they get to earn within the community.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, my takeaway from this is the to build a successful, maybe to be a community manager, like you need to know how to get people together to have a shared goal, and then at the end of the day, there has to be some kind of incentive for these guys that also have the same shared goal you have. But apart from that, like, what would you say are like some tips and the practices like you have learned along the way of building communities like Web3 Bridge? Like, I know you have like a very large developer community. So, what are the practices and the stuff you have learned along the way?
Also, I think one of the things I've learned along the way is the people should be able to trust you as the community builder. So trust is actually
Mm-hmm.
one major thing because so for people to be a complete part of your community, they should be able to open themselves to the community. Like they know that they get support. Like people know, oh, I'm joining this community, I'm able to get support. I'm able to now. So with three example, people are looking to become developers, but then we do more than developers actually because uh, people can come and like, oh, sir, I'm having problems with my intestine. Having problems with like people get to talk about these things and they could only do
Mm-hmm.
that because they trust the community enough to look out for them. Like people like developers or community members are like whether they are there or not, they trust you to come with their interests. Now everybody is trying to work towards their own personal goal, yes, but then, how do you also put these people first? Why you do that? Like, there's this bank, I think it's Sterling Bank that said there's one customer bank. Now, when community starts, like any community start, it starts with like 2, 3, 5 members, and we have like one interaction. Now, when community becomes like big enough, then we get to a point where we start like start like employing community managers whose job is like, oh, talk. But then how do you maintain that? Even when you grow, everybody is still treated like the same way they were treated when they were just one persons, when they're just two persons. That way they can like warm up
Yeah.
to you to like tell you about stuff. So that's one of the things I've learned along the line that everybody, apart from earning, apart from this, they want to have a sense of belonging. They want to believe that, oh, they want to be, let me use the word love if it's possible. Like everybody wants to be loved, and they are expecting you as a community manager or community lead to show that particular love, to show care. So when I do back in this, when I manage communities, like I just come into the community, I'm like, hey, how far is everybody doing today? Are you guys who have not eaten today? Now I do not have money to give these guys, but
Yeah.
that sparks conversations around, oh, this is what happened. Then like I was managing like communities across that work that have people from across the world. So like I get to learn about, this is what happened in Turkey today, this is what happened in this country today. Like people get to talk about what happened in their different countries because somebody's listening to them. Now, for me, I was trying to just get the conversation going, but then you
Mhm.
have to actually show that you actually care about these things. Oh, it was then I learned that in Turkey, when you are at a particular age, everybody goes to a military camp. Like these are the things I learned. Yeah, like so, like, you're going next week? Oh, I don't. Okay, we miss you when you come back. Now, when the person gets back and become active, like you expect to pick that. Oh, you've been missing for a long time. Welcome back. How are you doing? Like you show like a lot of affection. That's one of the things I've learned, and that's one of the way I feel that communities are meant to grow, so that both you that owns the community and people that are members of your community can actually be part of that community wholeheartedly.
Okay, so I'm very curious. Do you think this applies just to a user-centric community, or it also applies to the developer-based community like you have at Web3 Bridge?
So this is actually the same way we treat our Web3 bridge. Like
Mm-hmm.
for every time alumni developers come and become alumni, come and go, that the door is always still open to them to always come back to, like, so like even till tomorrow, like let's leave today to tomorrow. If an alumni come and like, sir, do you have time for this thing? There's always going to be time because they're part of the community already. Oh, so I'm going through this thing. The best thing myself and my team can do is to like listen to them and respond to them. Oh, this thing. Oh, this is the problem. Oh, this is the problem. Oh, sorry. Oh, we don't know how to do this now. Let's talk to this person. Let's talk to this person. Like so, I learned that there's an issue in a particular company where some of our guys work. I get to know about it yesterday, and I actually spent about 7 hours on the call yesterday discussing why should this be, why should it be, why should it be. Now, this is the same thing I learned along the line as a community manager. And this is exactly the same thing I do now. And my team does now. If you meet any of my team, like, oh, sorry about this thing, this is what, oh, we can actually help you with this. Because at the end of the day, it's more than just a job. Some community building is more than just a job. It's like making people feel like I said, people feel loved, people feel like they're appreciated. Like, so even when you think that, oh, they are not the developers are going to go through burnouts. They are
Yeah,
going to go
pretty
through job issues. They're going to go through, now at the end of the day, they are part of a community where they know that no matter how bad it gets, I can always come back and say, okay, there's trouble, there's problem. Okay, what's the trouble? Now that helps the community to actually grow, because if people feel that they are disappreciated, they will also look out for the community, because the community is giving back to them, then they can give back to community too. Thank you.
cool. Oh, I do think I also get what you're saying. Even on my end, I feel being there for your community members, being there for people that believe in what you're building is actually like very necessary, of course, because when they know that, okay, if they ask a question, you can always respond. If they have like some need, you can always like turn up for them. I do feel it adds a lot of value to community building. And I've also noticed, let's say on Twitter, let's say if a project has a very active community lead on Twitter and that answers questions and maybe supports the community, they get to like kind of grow faster than a community whereby the community lead or whatsoever like is not active. So yeah, I completely agree with that. So that aside, we're going to like talk about the current growth of Web3 in Africa. So I know maybe when you started, it wasn't like that huge. So currently, how would you view the current growth of Web3 in Africa compared to a few years ago? And are there any specific trends or changes like you have observed?
The Web3 in Africa is actually growing at a very good pace. Like at least 2024 has been a very, very amazing year. Very amazing
Mhm.
because we've seen community continue to grow. We've seen projects now coming. So before we used to have like we used to have like a complete user like focus, say, oh, we're only looking for people that have to get airdrops. So if you are looking before 2017, 18, 19, most of what we do is, oh, they're looking for people to do airdrop and fill stuff. Like we are the ones there. But now, let's even take Starknet and Starkware for example.
Mhm.
I'm sure a number of Africans are like every contributor to the Cairo book and all of these things now because
Yeah.
then it doesn't used to be like this. Now it's changing. Now we have people that are
Yeah.
growing projects, see on board, see Polytop Labs, see what Aya
Mhm.
is doing with the roadshow. Like now we continue to have like a lot of qualified projects that are leading this charge. Before
Mhm.
now, you find people who are like influencers per se, who are not like really like Web3 native, core native people leading the charge. Like when you get, oh, this person, but then you wonder where are the people that are doing the main job.
Mhm.
But now before, if it was before that, let's even stay Amstar combat for or is it combatant, whatever they call it, for example.
Yeah.
Though we had a lot of people who were in that airdrop because of the old ton craze, but then it didn't stop like real things from actually happening on the side. Now, if it was to be before, everyone would like abandon whatever they are doing and focus on this. Now the market, we can't say we are even in a bull run. We can't say we are in a bull or bear market. People are still building, like hackathons are being run, builders are being doing, we're doing roadshow and all of these things. That's like an improvement from what we used to have before. What we used to have before was like horrible. In fact, even now, so I remember 2018 managing community was even crazy. Like I said before, like when people come to your community, I'm like, it's a Nigerian that is managing this community. Hey, it's scam. Hey, no way. But now Nigerians, Africans are becoming the faces of projects. Projects are
Yeah.
doubling down Africa, like oh, we are devoting time to African builders, and these are like top things we did not have before. So for me, it's actually like a 1000%, if something like that, like 1000% growth level.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I quite agree when you mentioned on Africans, let's say Nigerians contributing to the Cairo book, being active on Only Does. This is maybe something that wouldn't have been the case, let's say 3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago or so. But now it's the trend is changing. We now have like group builders because I do believe, let's say, in a community that doesn't have builders, I mean, people that are out there to encourage others to like do stuff is actually not going to like be long lasting, right? Because we need people to build stuff and also we also need people to use it. So we need to like create the gap or maybe create the bridge on how to like make it work. So I saw your recent post about crypto evangelism in Africa. So you mentioned the need for more crypto evangelists in Africa. So how do you think we can cultivate more advocates for crypto adoption across the continent?
Thank you very much. So recently we started having like a lot of protocols now having like people focused on bringing people into those protocols. Like
Hmm.
the super team are doing a very good job. The best African guys are doing a very good job. I think like a number of these companies are doing like very, very good job. But then at the
Hmm.
core of it, like so before things become like very incentivized this way, we used to have people who devote to just like say, okay, I'm bringing people into my Telegram group, and on Monday we learn about blockchain, Tuesday we learn about this. This is like that's how most communities started, like blockchain OAU or blockchain UNN, blockchain, whatever this community like. This is how they started before now. Now I believe that we need to bring back that community because now we are doubling down too much and we are not going wide. We are growing in because so for every like we have how do I explain it? We have a lot of people within the community now that if we say we do events today, 70% of the people that comes to that event are people we already know. Now, the 30% are not bad. Like so, let me use Web3 Lagos Conference for example. We did the stats, and of the stats, 22% of that number were just newbies into Web3. Now,
Yeah.
22% of 2000, so that's about say about 400 people
Mm-hmm.
But then we are all of us. Or there's no products we have not used at one point or the other. Test like leave this one, test and leave this one. Now we need more people. So
Mm-hmm.
I see. So I see. Let's use the church as a definition of this thing, right? Let's assume we have communities within Africa that has like in total of 1 million, 1.5 million users, where these guys are actively learning about blockchain. They are working with this protocol. But they are all part of the community. Now it's easy for me to want to launch a. So now that we have builders within our advocating for builders, these guys are like the first users our builders are going to get. Instead of doing like a wide, just bring your products to this community. So, guys, oh, test this product for us. Before you know it, you already have 500,000 users. Even at test phase, because these guys are testing for us. Say at best now, like, okay, so because these guys are loyal, they have commitment to their communities. We don't have to like spend billions or millions to incentivize them to do these things. So I feel that
Yeah.
we need these people back. Now, most of the guys that used to be community evangelists, or so evangelists might be like a close word. There used to be like this community advocates before now, like they're not fully working for each protocol, this, that. But then because when you start, so I remember there's a particular community I joined. They have a community that brought me into the ecosystem in 2017 that's still active today. But the community was active today because everybody's working somewhere and all. But back in that day, every every Monday we learn about blockchain, like every Monday, and every Wednesday we talk about airdrops. Then maybe on Friday we now talk about, oh, there is a product, there's a project, let's invest money here, let's do this here. Almost all the people in that community are now big boys. So for the old communities, all of them have become big boys. So, and most of them don't really care about, not that they don't care, but then they are too busy to go say, oh, I want to now start doing this community drive. But the truth is that we need this community drive because we assume that we have the numbers. But you put it together, we don't have the numbers anymore. We're just like all of us are now used to ourselves. We need a conscious effort to bring in the new guys. And we need to bring them in their numbers. Like, say we have 500 communities where each community has like 1,000 members each. Then you know now at some point this 1,000 members times 500 also become like big boys, yes. But then they are added to our community numbers. Then we can keep going in depth and keep going in depth. Because we say, oh, Africa, Nigeria has this number of people that uses stablecoin. It's because we are looking for card. Let the government solve a card problem today. And let's see if all of us are still going to use crypto as the way you are using it. Let
Eh,
Naira that today. So we need to look beyond all of these problems and think sustainability on a long run. If you are going to get builders to build, you're going to get founders to found, they need a community. Now, if individually they go look for this community, they're going to spend a lot of money. Most African founders don't have the budget. Like, so if you look at the event I just finished in Singapore, some communities spend as much as $550,000 for party and all of those things. But
yeah.
like, okay, we had a joke in Kenya during Safari. I'm like, the project spent about $200,000 on, and there's this friend of mine from Uganda who said, if I have that kind of money, I'll build my project, I will launch community, I will do like whatever this community out in Europe is somebody's
Mm,
entire project life cycle in Africa. But imagine if
mm.
we have a number of community like Scatter that we can reach, it reduces how much we have to spend on this marketing. It makes our projects like visible enough because our users are increasing and we can use these metrics to actually like address the global market.
Interesting. Interesting. You actually made a point there. I think you spoke about like we don't just need project specific yeah, crypto evangelists and maybe community builders. We also need people to build communities, not like tagging into a specific protocol. So, but I also do think that we still need specific protocol community builders. Reason is because of course, like you need a mouthpiece that would connect you to maybe a specific project or some kind of stuff, right? So it's makes it a lot easier, right? But I also agree with what you said about us like having reduced amount of new guys because I mean when you go to conferences or maybe events these days like it's the same faces. So we kind of need to think about okay, how do we bring the Web2 guys here? How do we bring people that are part of like other Web2 companies or maybe ecosystem into the Web3 community and tell them, okay, this is like how it works and a lot of stuff. So maybe I mean there could be initiatives like around this. Well, yeah, I mean we can never know. Like, oh, I think you are the boss here, so you figure it out for us. Yeah.
I
So.
think I think saying I'm the boss is not like a scam here. So the thing is that we can't stop having like protocol focused guys,
Mhm,
because in fact they make the job easy, honestly, because at least at the bottom of it, every community lead wants to get paid.
mhm,
So it makes it easy that, oh, this protocol is funding this effort. And
yeah.
this, like, I was speaking with somebody who said, oh, so sir, at the bottom of what we do, we're trying to get builders, we're trying to get users to get to learn blockchain and get into this protocol. So we should not also like rule out that. As much as we want to say, oh, this our protocol is the best, we should also like understand that the more fundamental our community members know, the easier for us to actually even scale whatever we are trying to do as an initiative. So we are not doing badly though. I'm just saying that this is just the tweet was born out of me just like reviewing the fact that, oh, we actually need to do more. Like, we need to honestly bring back those communities who are innocently just building. Oh, like, I'm not sure there's any, most communities are doing now, but then we need to bring back, oh, communities are like, oh, today we are teaching blockchain, today we are talking about what is EVM, what is this, what is Stark, what is this, like, not attached to, oh, they are developing, no, like ground level understanding the blockchain space. Because at the end of the day, if you look carefully, most of us are even forgetting what blockchain is. Let us not lie to ourselves. Like, let us lie to ourselves. Most of us are forgetting what blockchain is. At the core of it, most of our seniors, the dollars, they don't even know what blockchain is. Their own is, oh, we trade this one. And most people that are coming now and getting to know these people. So now, like, how far now? Let's talk about blockchain. Now, if you don't understand, one of the reasons why it's hard for us to have like real use cases for blockchain is because most people don't even understand it anymore. So we need to get a point where people who actually understand, like, at the core, what we used like this community is actually like one community that we did a lot of work. Like, for each time, we had retreats, like we have retreats where we come, bring boards and write use cases and all of these things. We need those communities back, because those communities are going to have members who are going to also become builders and all of these things that make the work of protocols, communities easier.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I agree with that. I just hope that I believe this is something where Bridge is doing with your co-host, and oh, I feel like more communities should actually adopt what you guys are doing basically. So on to the next, right? So since 20, I think I came across, like I said, I came across Web3 Bridge in 2022, which formed our first collaboration and all. And since then, you guys have like organized several Starknet initiatives in the past. So I'm quite curious, how do you see, let's say, as the community leader of Web3 Bridge, how do you see the Starknet community at Web3 Bridge right now? And also, like, do you have any plans for more initiatives in the future? And what has the community response been to the initiative you have had, like, in the past?
Thank you very much. I think um, so far for Starknet in Africa, we can see that thankfully we have done our bits, and I'm happy to see that if you look within the ecosystem, Starknet ecosystem, our guys are doing considerably well enough that
Thanks.
when the reward actually came, we got a very very like in total, our community got a very substantial like reward. So it means that they have done something right. So the feedback has been amazing. Also, like, I've seen a number of Starknet boot camps that is springing off that is being led by our guys, which is actually like a good one. So for the more they kept going in front, the more others kept joining them. Uh, so for past, like, it's been a very good one, like very good one. So like, at least I think the last one we had there, the feedbacks was actually good. Like, so the feedback, I mean, feedback, both negative and positive. Like, I believe that there's no how you want to learn without taking even criticisms. Just help you grow, except you don't want to grow. So I also like take that very kindly. In the future, I believe that, so for next year, like a foreseeable future, like this year, we are not doing any plan again. Like, Web3 Bridge 2024 activities like closed. We are only going to
Mm.
do, but then for next year we are going to have like a number of programs that we believe that I know now we have a lot of entry guys into Starknet, for example. Whatever we are doing now should be on the high level part. If you do so, I believe that we have like newbies come. We could still say, oh, let's do masterclass for, but then there's already a Stack bootcamp where everyone can go join and do whatever they want, which makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
if you need any of that support, there are a lot of people now that can support them within the Stack Africa community. So there's no need to do that anymore. But then for us, we are looking at high level like ZK related Stack level stuff. Then we already started having conversation around this. Thankfully, as of now, Web3 Bridge can now host like 3 programs together now. Like in January, we can actively host like 5 programs together. So say, oh, we are running Web3 Bridge course, this masterclass, that masterclass. Our alls are going to be fully finished by the end of next month. So we can have like 5. I think the all can take like 5 programs running at the same time. Maximum of 150, 300 people can work at the same time. Then accommodation wise, we can now house 200 developers. So I believe that we are planning towards it. We are going to make announcement by November, first week in November. I'll make an announcement about our activity. But then I'm sure that we're going to be doing a number of Starknet related activity for next year.
Awesome. I'm of course looking forward to that. I mean, I do feel, and I know that Web3 Bridge like I've added a lot of value to Starknet as a whole. And yeah, I mean that has not like gone unnoticed, right? So you mentioned that you guys have closed activity for this year. So, but then I'm quite curious, like, do you have any stuff currently going on, like cohorts, or do you have any activity going on apart from you saying that you don't have something else again for this year?
Yeah, when I said we don't have anything, like we don't, so we're supposed to host a Rust masterclass this year, but then we have cancelled
Mm-hmm.
and moved to next year so that we can like fully finish. Like it's been an hectic year. Like when I mean hectic, it's been a complete hectic year for us. Our quartz 11 is currently running. It's going to be finishing by November. Then registration for next quarter is going to open by October 14, I think. So when I mean we don't have an active, so like we're not planning to host any major like program. So not saying so. I think yeah, if we have like third parties that want to like we're going to be hosting like a meetup this week. So you like want to host a meetup, Web3 Bridge, yeah, that those are like sides. But like on the core of say, I want to now sit down and do like a boot camp. Uh, this like for now, this year is closed.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so so this is a personal question though, like, okay, getting into crypto and I want to become a community builder. Like, what kind of advice would you give me? How do I start? So I can just assume you are referring to me. I mean, I'm learning from you, my boss. So, just I mean, what kind of insight would you give me personally?
So I think what has worked for me um so far since I started. I think okay, let me do like a good. Let me go back a little bit.
Hmm.
2018 was even funny for me that when I enter a community, I remember then they were like, "Hey, Ebanyo is there?" Like, Ebanyo cannot be a human being; must be a bot. Like, how will somebody be like, "Are you sure you're not going to manage this community and all?" I just feel that when you're in a community, you should be in a community. Like, if you're going to be the one in charge of this community, you be in charge of that community. Like, in charge when I mean in charge, like you are the one in charge. You know, understand everything about your community. Like, it's funny. So when I go into communities and I ask this question about, oh, what's this community about, and the community manager is finding it hard to even answer. That's like insulting on the community manager actually. Like, know about what you are managing. Even when the question gets hard, just like customer support, we say, oh, can you hold on? Let me check this thing. You can do the same thing. Like, can you hold on? Oh, so this is what we are doing, but then can you let me get this information for you? And you come back and do the same thing. Like, community managers are like the faces, like customer supports are like the faces of projects, of companies, of whatever, because they are one that are facing with the users. In the same way, it should be open and available enough. Yeah, you are human being, you have mood swings and all, but then you cannot mood swing your way into being the best community manager. Like, there are days when people ask like very annoying question, and personally, you know what I do? I type Personally, you know what I do? I type this feedback I want to give, like the raw, honest feedback. I type it out and I delete and smile and like you cannot outburst as a community manager. Like the best outburst you can do is on that. Like I get crazy. Like if I want to now, like people just sit down, like I'll just type it out so that I know that I've said it. But then did I send it? No, I didn't send. Like delete and come back again. Then you also have to like understand your community. Every community has different members, different prospects, different interests. So the fact that you have so for example, if you've managed a dev community, are coming to manage a content community, for example, there are similarities. Everyone wants attention. But then what works for developers does not work for content creators. The linguas are not the same. So you need to understand the linguas for those communities. Like how do you move? So you have to be flexible enough to move within this spectrum of stuff. Make conversations like when your community members trust you enough, honestly, your job becomes very easy. Easy because they can tell you any shit. When they are angry with you, it won't be hard for them to even tell you. When your project is not doing well, they will not feel bad to tell you like this is not working, right? Oh, this is not working. And because they know that, sorry about that. We don't, oh no, we didn't know this. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna fix it. At that point when you say I'm not even the developer that are gonna fix it. Like you don't even have the fix. But then because they trust you enough, they can take your word for it. Then you can, we're gonna fix it at this time of the time. Like create a conversation, like create conversations. Let people feel like they belong there. But in fact, sometimes sharing your vulnerabilities, don't share back vulnerability. Sharing your vulnerability actually like, oh, I'm having a day today because my job is tiring. The job is tiring. Like if you look at the way the guys that handle child deck and each other Twitter accounts, there's a way I think like the way they use these guys like come like, you know, that there's a human behind this account. If you follow this, I think the Nigerian basketball, the female basketball handler, you follow that account, you know that there's a human beside. So like at the end of the day, before that you are behind your system and just a chat, people want to see the human side of you. Like I want to be able to read your chat and be say, oh, this person is in a bad mood. This person is in a good mood. Like when I chat with you, like personally, I see it. If I'm having a conversation with you on chat, like chat, not call, I'm trying to read your mood. Like, is this person in a good mood? Is this person like so? If you have a community member so you have a community member that has been in your community for 2 months, and this person like actively sends messages and the person stops sending messages, you should call them out, ask them, and like, oh guys, it's been a long time I saw you in the community. That way, if you have a problem, like you don't know if you're making their day. This is actually some of the things I've learned, I've done, and I'm still practicing.
Pretty much. Cool. Cool. Okay. So my major takeaway is you have to be there for your community, right? And you have to understand concepts. Let's say you're building the Starknet Africa community, or maybe you're building the Starknet community, you know, have to like understand concept like this, that, and yeah, you made a very good point. You made very good points about it. So, yeah, so we are already coming to the end of this. Do you have any statement for people watching this? Maybe that are curious, or maybe that wants to start, maybe join the developer ecosystem, or maybe join a community. Like, do you have anything for people watching this?
Also, I can't tell what the start of people watching can be, but then let's assume that we have developers, we have non-developers. So for
Mm-hmm.
developers, like the best you can be is to stay curious. Like, don't forget. So majority of us came into the ecosystem to look for money. I'm not going to let's not lie about that. Like, majority of us came to the ecosystem to look for money. Now, while we are looking for that money, we get comfortable along the line, which makes a lot of sense. But then let's not lose focus on why we started. Like, you need to still keep that passion, that energy that we came with. Like the way I think it was Touchline that said that. I think I heard that Touchline bought a bicycle and put in front of the bicycle. Is it no easy life or something like that? All of us are working to have an easy life, but let's not always lose focus of why we started. Like, let's not lose that fire that we're starting. So as developers, you have to stay curious. Yeah, you're earning well at this point, but then the day you start losing that fire that brought you in, you might end up being unrelevant anymore. Like, so now you don't even, you are not, you are, oh, you are just working this job, and yeah, you are doing, so you end up being an hello and welcome person. No, community manager is actually simple, hello and welcome, how are you, this that. But then it's not every community manager that moves to that point where they become like an integral part of their community. Like, for most companies back in 2018, 2019, if they have to downsize, community managers are the first to go. Bro, I was never sacked as a
Yeah,
community manager. I was never
yeah,
sacked. Never sacked, because if you do, who's going to talk to the community? Like, you need to keep that fire that you started with, and you need to continue with it. For those that are not communities, for those that are not developers here, the ecosystem is still like open enough. Like, we still new, irrespective of how long we have stayed here. The
mhm,
best you can do for yourself is to learn as much as possible. Like, learn. So when you learn and you don't use it, you are just like the story the Bible said that somebody light a lamp and put under a bushel. You don't want to be that kind of person. You want to light your candle and put it where people can see it. Hey, hello, I'm a content creator. These are my contents. Hello, I'm a writer. Don't tell us, don't tell us you're a writer. Let your Twitter account, LinkedIn, show us. Let your Medium show it. Let your Substack show it. Like, whatever you do in the ecosystem, let it be seen enough that people can appreciate it. People can, oh, let me look at it, like, sorry, who are you again? Like, before they even know your name, like, before the people, when let people know your name, whatever name you bear, without even seeing your face, and like, oh, I know you. Oh, yeah, this person. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, this is, let them know you by your works, because that's the only way you can not just only earn, you can become relevant in the ecosystem. Thank you.
yeah, pretty good, pretty much, pretty much. Yeah, I think the major take off from this is build in the open, whether you're a developer, non-developer, content creator, anyone, you can just build in the open, let the world like see what you're building, and for sure you get to the top or anywhere like you assume you want to get to. So this is pretty much it for ninth community call, and thank you all for joining this. And we do have this like every month, let's say last week of every month. So we're looking forward to seeing you all in the next one. And do follow Mr. Ayodeji and Web3 Bridge if you are new to crypto. If you want to like learn the concept of blockchain and a lot of stuff, you could join their cohort. You could join their community, and also you could as well be active in the Starknet Africa ecosystem. We have a lot of stuff cooking up. We also have Cairo Bootcamp coming up very soon. So you could learn about Starknet, Cairo, and yeah, get active in the community. So thank you all for joining this community call. See you next time.
Bye. Thank you very
Yeah, yeah,
much.
bye. Yeah.